morning, everyone. Boker Tov. We are now in the days of Elul when we blow the shofar each and every morning. And in addition to blowing the shofar, we say Psalm 27. L'davar Hashem ori v'yeshi. God is my light and salvation. And the conclusion of Psalm 27 is, have hope in Hashem. Strengthen your heart. Be courageous. And have hope in Hashem. Last week we saw the tragic event of a 14-year-old boy going into his school and shooting and murdering 4 innocent people. And on Friday, we saw the way he was arraigned in court and charged for the murder of 4 innocent people. But then we saw the way his father was brought into court and he was charged as a parent. In this week's Torah portion, we find the law of Ben Sorer or Morer, the rebellious and wayward child. The Torah says if parents have a child that is going on a dangerous, wayward, and rebellious path, they should bring the child to the court and declare to the court, this child is wayward and rebellious. We cannot control him, we cannot guide him. We fear for what he may do. And then the Torah says that if this child is found guilty, then the child is put to death. And the Talmud says, why is this child put to death? And the Talmud says it's better that the child should die innocent before he commits a crime than have to be put to death after he's guilty of a crime. However, the Talmud says that the case of Ben Sorer Moreh lo haya v'lo yiyeh, it never occurred in history that there was such a child, and never will there ever be such a child. Meaning to say that there will never be a child that could ever rise to this criteria to be determined and deemed so rebellious and so wicked that this child has to be put to death. And the question is, if such a child will never be and never was, why does the Torah spend time teaching us this law that will never actually occur? And perhaps that's precisely the point. The Torah is teaching us this law because the Torah wants to teach us that there never was and there never will be a child that is beyond hope, that is beyond redemption, that is unredeemable. Every child, no matter how wayward, how rebellious, how difficult, how challenging, how many disappointments, how many failures, how many setbacks you have with that child, know that God declared such a child that is beyond hope will never happen, never did, never will, because there is hope for every human being. And that's the message of the month of Elul. No matter how many disappointments or setbacks or failures we've had, how many times we've fallen, we could always get up again. Why? Because as Psalm 27 says, have hope in Hashem, be courageous, be strong, and double down on your hope, because yes, there is hope for every single person. Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, famously not only invented the light bulb, but he had 1,093 patents during his lifetime. But he had many, many failures. And he once said that on my way to all my great inventions, I failed 10,000 times. But he said, really, I don't view it as 10,000 failures, but rather I discovered 10,000 ways that don't work. Every failure is a step towards success. Every fall is a fall leading to a greater rising up and a greater discovery. And therefore we shouldn't look at our failures and give up hope. But on the contrary, we should know that as long as we have courage and strength, there is always hope. Perhaps Thomas Edison got it from none other than his very own mother. It's a story told when he was a little boy. He came home from school one day with a note from his teacher, and he said, my teacher asked me to give this note to you. And he handed his mother a note, and his mother's eyes started to get teary as she read the note. And little Thomas said to his mom, what's the matter? And the mother said, no, it's tears of joy, because your teacher wrote me a note and he said, Mrs. Edison, your boy Thomas is such a genius, he's so brilliant, he's so extraordinary, that he's so beyond all the other students in the class that he's wasting his time here. He could achieve so much more. And therefore I recommend you hire a personal tutor for him to teach him at his potential, at his pace. And that's what happened. The next day she pulled him out of school and hired a tutor, and sure enough taught him at home, homeschooled him, and he became the great Thomas Edison. When his mother passed away, Thomas was going through her apartment, cleaning up, going through her drawers. And he opened the drawer, and there he discovered the note from his teacher, from when he was a child. And he opened the note, and now Thomas started to cry. Because when he read the note said, "Dear Mrs. Edison, I am sorry to disappoint you and tell you this, but your son Thomas is feeble-minded. He's not capable of studying. He's always distracted. He's never paying attention. He can't keep up with the class and with the other students. He's wasting his time here in school. I recommend you hire a teacher to teach him at his slower pace to the best of his capabilities." But you see, his mother refused to believe what the teacher said. And she said, "No, my son has greatness in him." And she projected that onto her son, and she built him up and gave him the confidence. And that's how he became the great Thomas Edison. We should never give up on others, surely never give up on our children. And most importantly, during this month, we're reminded, don't give up on yourself. Have a wonderful day.